All right, guys. I started a few minutes early. Hopefully, I'll get some more people showing up. I'm on Facebook, so hopefully it shows up. And some of the people know me on my Facebook page will join as well. So, welcome to Monday Night Live, the Ketogenic and Fasting live stream. We're gonna have Bruce Teasall, my brother, on this evening after maybe 30 minutes into the stream. And for now, yeah, we're definitely going to get an update of Bruce and his weight loss journey. He was doing fasting, and I'll let him explain it if it's the first time that you're here. I'm just going to show you a before and after of my brother. And this is a difference of 11 months. Oops, sorry. 2 seconds, guys. I did a wrong share. Stop sharing. There you go. Share. All right. Before I show that, shameless plug. So this is my Patreon page. Darla, if you can put the Patreon link there. This is where I'll do keto, carnivore, low carb, whatever you like. I can coach you on how I lost weight, and it's $3.50 a month. Or if you just want to join to support me and my other, like my channel, basically, that's one method also. But besides this, everything is free on Mondays. If you are new and interested in a ketogenic diet, please, make yourself known in the chat, and especially to newcomers that would like to come on and just speak one-to-one, because a lot simpler to ask me questions live. You're welcome to join. These newcomers will have priority. So that's it for this one. Bring that down. And over here. So this is 11 months different. This one's a little cloudier, but that's pretty insane. So this is Bruce pretty much now, and this was Bruce just 11 months ago. So I'll let Bruce, since it's been a while, we haven't done a Monday night stream. Sorry about that. Life gets busy, but hopefully I'll be continuing to do Monday streams regularly. So I'll let Bruce kind of, give his testimony over again, and then, update us further. We were never streaming. I've never streamed a keto fasting live stream on Facebook. So it's worth Bruce when he comes on. Sorry. It's worth Bruce coming on and kind of explaining everything over again. Okay. Hey, Darla. Hey, Kai. Hey, Rod. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Please share this if possible. So I'm going to talk a little bit about dietary cholesterol as well as saturated fats, as much as we can get into in half an hour. This is just kind of a brief look to show you that what you think about dietary cholesterol, what you think about saturated fat in your diet is likely wrong, or it cannot be substantiated. This lie of saturated fat causing heart disease, cholesterol. The guy who lied about saturated fat, Ansel Keys, in the diet heart hypothesis. I have to brush up on all this. He himself said that dietary cholesterol had no impact on cardiovascular disease or anything like that. He was blaming saturated fats. So we'll deal with the cholesterol, the dietary cholesterol, superficially. We'll need to go into more depth and repetition on these live streams are good, because it's kind of like we're relearning. We're removing all of the lies and the cognitive dissonance and stuff like that we've been told. So repetition is good, and it is up to you to be like, oh, I'm going to go see this study, read it in whole. It's not good to always just go to your abstract on a study, or go to the conclusions and stuff like that, and not look at the methodology and things like that. But for the basis of this is just to kind of go like, no, guys, it's not as obvious, and the science is not good on being able to make these claims, but it's super, super convenient and beneficial to demonize cholesterol and saturated fat. It pretty much, removes the majority of animal food, and that drives right in with, the plant-based lie that they're pushing. Let's make them eat a peasant diet. And it's wonderful how the propaganda with social media and nutritional science and food corporations are able to confuse the masses, to the point where the masses are the ones going like asking for it. Yes, give us this. It's good. All right. So present screen. Let's get into it, because I tend to talk way too much, and then I say it's only 25 minutes, before you know it's an hour and a half, and stuff like that. So present. Let's get right into business. Okay. So look, like I said, nutritional science is, in my opinion, garbage to a large extent. It's not complicated what's making us sick, and it's not complicated knowing what prior to being sick we were eating. And but I'll use the confusing garbage called nutritional science, which most of the time is never randomized control trials. It's just a bunch of food questionnaires, epidemiological studies, observational studies. That way they can tell you that there's risks, links, associations, and the majority of the people will say risk, link, associations. Oh, that means it causes. And this science, in large part, cannot prove causation. You'd have to lock, people into an asylum for years, make sure that they're not doing any other unhealthy things, make sure that they're eating exactly what they're supposed to be eating on both sides. It's not doable. Not saying that we can't. It has a purpose. It wouldn't be garbage if it was used for its purpose. You're not going to spend millions and millions of dollars on a study if there's no associations, because there's no association. Now, if there is an association, then you can use those preliminary studies to say there's an association, but is there a cause? And that's the difference. They make claims on social media, on your feeds and everything, that it's like we've figured out that saturated fat causes atherosclerosis, and it's like, just always look for that word cause, because you're never going to find it. Never. Yet we walk around and we keep on propelling this lie. So again, health science, I'm just saying, here, somebody can show you a study, and I'm going to show you another study. And so it gets very confusing. Let's get into it. Get out of here. For decades, people have been told that the dietary cholesterol in foods raises blood cholesterol levels and causes heart disease. This idea may have been a rational conclusion based on the available science 50 years ago, but more recent evidence calls this into question. Wow, after 50 years, right? This is not recent. Ansel Keys, who's a crooked person, you can go check, he himself said, nah, it's not cholesterol, it's saturated fat. So the guy who created the lie about saturated fat even he said dietary cholesterol is not the cause. They did some funky, stupid studies giving stuff like, rabbits and stuff, cholesterol infusions. Rabbits don't eat cholesterol. High blood cholesterol levels are a known cause? No, a known risk factor for heart disease. Whether dietary cholesterol causes them is a different question. This article takes a close look at the current research on dietary cholesterol and the role it plays in blood cholesterol levels and heart disease. Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like substance that occurs naturally in your body. Many people think that cholesterol is harmful, but the truth is that it's essential for your body to function. Cholesterol contributes to the membrane structure of every cell in your body. And your body also needs it to make hormones, vitamin D, as well as perform various other essential functions. Simply put, you could not survive without it. Your body makes all the cholesterol it needs. Thank goodness for vegans, or they'd die. Your body makes all the cholesterol it needs, but it also absorbs a relatively small amount of cholesterol from some foods, such as eggs, meat, and full-fat dairy products. Cholesterol is a whack. Okay, that's a summary of it. When people talk about cholesterol in relation to heart health, they usually aren't talking about cholesterol itself. They are referring to lipoprotein, the structures that carry the cholesterol in the blood. Lipoproteins are made of fat, so lipo, on the inside and protein on the outside. There are several kinds of lipoprotein, but the two most relevant to heart disease are low-density lipoproteins, LDL, and high-density lipoproteins, HDL. I'm talking without going, like, look, there's minutiae. There, you could probably, if you're a cholesterol freak, go into all sorts of way more complicated, explanations and pathways. This isn't the point for this. Okay, we're trying to just give you the idea that your body produces cholesterol. There's very few. There's not even there's only a certain amount of cholesterol that your body can absorb in a day, anyways. Okay, the LDL and the HDL are carriers of protein. LDL transports cholesterol around, and HDL actually takes LDL and transports it back to the liver so that it doesn't stay in the bloodstream too long and become damaged and pathological. Within your LDL, there's also different sizes, different particle sizes. So even if they want to tie your LDL, like an elevated LDL, and say that it causes, even, they can't say that, but let's say they want to say it is linked or associated and stuff like that, you still can say, well, is my LDL elevated? Okay, well, what's my particle size? Because within LDL, there's only one size, the VLDL, very low density lipoproteins, that it's true. They become oxidized. They become damaged from very toxic blood environments, from high insulin levels, fluctuating glucose, high glucose flowing through your blood because of high carb diet, causing not only issues like it can cause glycation too. That's directly related to glucose. So thinking that 60% of the food needs to be glucose increases glycation, something that is not spoken about very often. And things like glycated beta amyloids are a large part of Alzheimer's as well. The other aspect of Alzheimer's is insulin resistance in the brain. So there's a lot of glycation and insulin resistant. However, you never hear about the cause, really, because we know the mechanism that there is a cause, glycation, okay, and glucose insulin resistance are directly caused by a high carbohydrate diet. So the other aspect as well is our body is chronically inflamed, and that to a large extent is from the omega-6 consumption, primarily in these seed oils that are in bottles that we use. And on top of it, we use these and we heat with them, further oxidizing. This is basically poison. The animals as well. If they are having a high soy, grain, corn fed diet, when they come to market, they also have different nutrition. They're a lot higher in omega-6. So even people that are smart enough to understand that they should be avoiding omega-6, that the only omega-6 really should be omega-6 and 3 that you should be getting is naturally in animal foods. There are a plant version of omega-3 found in chia seeds and things like that. But that is very, very poorly converted. And long term, you're to take a chance and try and get all your omega-3s when your brain is saturated with that, when it's hard enough for people that are eating animal food to maintain a decent ratio. When you're eliminating animal food, then you're almost relying only on the plant fats, and they're majority omega-6. So what I'm saying is the LDL is so the smallest particle size within the LDL is predisposed to oxidation and inflammation when you have a high omega-6 diet. So it's not that simple. If you have a good omega-6 balance to 3, omega-6 to omega-3, the LDL that has omega-3 within it are resistant to oxidation and resistant to inflammation. Basically, all of our modern diseases are based on chronic inflammation. And the chronic inflammation, primarily, in my opinion, is among all the toxic additives that we have, but the diet itself is a omega-6 toxicity. The whole majority of people are suffering from this. It's often referred to as bad cholesterol, as it is linked to atherosclerosis. Linked. Did you see? Not a cause. We saw here a link, and we saw here there was another word that wasn't cause, right? We just spoke about that. So just keep that in mind, because our brain just doesn't interpret it that way. It interprets it causes. We have to avoid it. The science is settled, kind of thing. Having a lot of cholesterol carried by LDL lipoproteins is associated with an increased risk of heart disease. In fact, the higher the level, the greater the risk. But there are different types of LDL, mainly broken down by size. They are often classified as either small, dense LDL or large LDL. Studies show that people who have mostly small particle size are the ones at greater risk of developing heart disease than those with mostly small particle size. Still, the size of LDL particles is not the most important risk factor. It's the number of them. This measurement is called LDL particle number, LDLP. Generally, the higher the number of LDL particles you have, the greater your risk of developing heart disease. So here's the thing, guys. It is true that the smallest particle size within the LDL will be part of the plaque, the atherosclerosis. Okay, I'll even give that. But those very low density lipoproteins, the smallest part, they also have a purpose. Okay, what is happening is you are damaging all sorts of things, hemoglobin, enzymes, all sorts of these things, okay, are being damaged by inflammation. They're being damaged by oxidative stress. So that is the cause. Do you see the difference between an association and a cause? Okay, I would say that yes, the LDL is associated with this, but what is the cause? If those LDL, even the low density, are healthy, if you're consuming omega-6 and omega-3 in appropriate ratio and stuff like that, and you're not consuming an insane amount of carbohydrates for your activity level and for your muscles and everything, and causing, high glucose flowing through your veins, causing spikes in insulin, causing resistance, making your pancreas secrete more insulin. Diabetics, once they start requiring insulin injections, they basically rot. Okay, so the minute that you are considered a diabetic and are put now on insulin, it is a death sentence. Literally, the treatment, okay, and I'm talking as a layman, in my opinion, the treatment of injecting insulin to somebody who has developed a resistance to insulin because the insulin levels are high is like giving alcohol to an alcoholic that comes and says, I'm not getting drunk anymore. You just double it, add another bottle, come back if ever you need a third. That's a pretty much diabetes. A symptom is rising sugars, but the rising sugars isn't the pathology of diabetes. It's a symptom. The actual cause is that your body is constantly flooded with insulin, that it no longer responds to insulin. And we have good doctors and good nephrologists like Jason Fung that have caught on to this. And instead of just watching diabetic patients get fatter and fatter, wait till their circulation is non-existent and they get amputations and dialysis. All of this could be mediated with a dangerous and extreme ketogenic diet. Yet diabetic patients will be encouraged to continue down the path of pretty much uh, killing them with insulin. Um, Lord knows you wouldn't want to lose all that weight and reverse the insulin resistant because you're eating cholesterol and fat. I would go as far as well as to say I don't calculate my fat intake. What I do is I eat ketogenic style. So I eat animal food basically, and I'll eat side dishes. If I want vegetables, some fruits. Once in a while, I'll have some almonds and nuts and stuff like that. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord, what an extreme diet of eating fish and chicken and eggs and beef. Oh no, poison, pure poison. I mean, the history shows we've been vegan like since the Garden of Eden. HDL picks up the excess cholesterol throughout the body and takes it back to the liver where it can be used or excreted. Some evidence indicates that HDL protects against the buildup of plaque. So, how does dietary cholesterol affect the blood? We'll go into this another time. Okay. Contrary to popular belief, heart disease is not caused only by cholesterol. Many factors are involved in the disease, including inflammation, oxidative stress, high blood pressure, smoking. While the heart disease is often driven by lipoproteins that carry cholesterol around, dietary cholesterol in itself has little to no effect on this. I wish I could go longer on this, but I promised Bruce I would not have him wait like an hour and a half or something. I'm going to jump to the next thing here. So look, you can go check not just one source that I cherry picked. Why you should no longer worry about cholesterol. They knew this in the 1950s. Okay, but it's complicated. No, it's not at all. It's complicated if you actually start looking into these stupid things. Again, here, the current literature does not support the notion that dietary cholesterol increases the risk of heart disease in a healthy individual. However, there's ample evidence that saturated fatty acids and trans fats increase cardiovascular cause, no risk. The fact that dietary cholesterol is common in foods that are high in saturated fatty acids might have attributed to the hypothesis that dietary cholesterol is atherogenic. In contrast, eggs are affordable, rich in protein and micronutrients, nutrient dense, and low in saturated fatty acids. The healthy eating pattern can okay, so obviously we go here now. So now you're like, oh, okay, so dietary cholesterol, I shouldn't really worry about it. Now, the reason that this is on my mind a little bit is that I have two colleagues in the department that have started a ketogenic diet. Surprisingly, it's not even because of me. I've been like pudgy for 6 months, so I have really not been preaching much about diet with my muffin top. So, but even the guy that was doing it, he's like, yeah, it really works keto. But the problem is you can't do it long term because of the cholesterol and saturated fat. And I was kind of like, that triggered me. I didn't say anything because I have enough other things going on in my life right now. I'm too busy to worry about debating vegans and stuff like that. You do that when it's fun. Just a minute. Almost there, Bruce. I'm going to try and rush through here. Okay, so the cholesterol, no problem there. We went through that. When I get my book back from my colleague, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, we will do a deep dive into the Maasai that live in Kenya. The Maasai keep healthy despite a high-fat diet. So you see how this is getting confusing now? They're like, oh, okay, it's not cholesterol, but it's the saturated fat. But saturated fat and cholesterol often go hand in hand in animal food, so you should pretty much avoid everything. But the Maasai keep healthy despite a high-fat diet. The recommended cholesterol intake is 200 milligrams, and these guys have about 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams daily, and they're healthy. And like most people that adopt a quite carnivorous, almost completely, or a diet that maintains ketosis for a large period of time, if you look at the whole year annually, they'll always have these lean physiques, and naturally their ideal body weight. So here it says the Maasai in East Africa consume a high-fat diet, but they don't seem to suffer from lifestyle diseases. Yeah, we saw the same thing. Everything that they're still saying to scare you, like the saturated fat, the animals, and cholesterol and all this. Nutrition and Physical Degeneration was seeing healthy cultures and saying, "What are you guys eating?" Oh, okay. Well, there was no vegan culture in that book. They were all omnivorous except for the Maasai as well as the Inuit. They did have, like, the Inuits did have a little bit of plant, but it's like almost majority, and it's pretty much extremely low carbohydrates. So the Maasai are very special people who live primarily from farming and livestock activities in Kenya. They have mystified researchers for years. To a large extent, the Maasai live on milk from the cattle, which means their diet is as full of fat as the diet of the people living in the West. Unlike Westerners, however, the Maasai do not have many problems related to lifestyle diseases. Don't forget that this is full fat milk, right? It's not like the stuff that we get, like the fat's been skimmed off the top to make cheese, and you have like at most like 3% homo milk kind of thing. This is full fat dairy. It's also unpasteurized. And we'll do a deep dive into the Maasai another time. Fat Maasai are also healthy. So it says the result is interesting, as the contrast walking activity of the Maasai can contribute to their healthy condition despite the high fat diet. You know what? You can't, if you're eating, you can't outrun a crap diet and stuff like that. Through their clinical and biochemical measurements of the Maasai, the researchers found that 8% of the Maasai over the age of 18 had high blood pressure. Africans are generally predisposed to high blood pressure. And the town and city dwellers are most affected, with as many as 20% of them having high blood pressure, according to Christensen. High cholesterol values were found in 3%. A study of overweight Maasai with a BMI over 25 showed that they had a normal, healthy level of insulin. Few overweight Maasai showed signs of having moved into a pre-diabetic stage. So even some of the markers that were higher didn't lead to the diseases that we're seeing. I should have kind of like highlighted the areas, but I'm going to wait till I get nutrition and physical degeneration, and I'll do. I'm going to go through that book. But yeah, you know, they have excellent health. Okay. I was kind of like looking around here. This is the British Medical Journal, the Maasai and cholesterol. The story as presented is as follows. The Maasai have a staple diet of milk, meat, and blood. The milk contains a fairly high proportion of total lipid, phospholipids, and cholesterol. The average daily intake is about 3,000, with 66% of the calories derived from fat. The average daily cholesterol is anywhere from 500 to 2,000 milligrams, which is comparable to the average. That's what they're saying. Like the junk food people, the standard American diet people are consuming that much cholesterol, they're saying, but they're sick. But these guys are consuming it, from the primarily the full fat milk there, and they're having none of these health outcomes that we see in the West. Why? Because what's really killing us is chronic inflammation and over consumption of carbohydrates in a very obese, sedentary, and insulin resistant society. Once you become insulin resistant, you're always going to be predisposed. So somebody who goes on keto will improve their blood sugars and they're insulin resistant. But if they even try and return to even somewhat of a reasonable amount, they may just return to spiking their sugars. This happens to my mother. Um, Despite the customary high-fat diet, the aorta and the coronary arteries of this Maasai show little atherosclerosis. Serum cholesterol levels are low, with no increase in level with increasing age. And the serum levels, blah, 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 good enough. You get the point. We can go into this another time. Almost there. I'm at 30 minutes, so Bruce, I'll be letting you on very soon, okay? Saturated fat does not. Now, this is an editorial. This is an opinion piece, you could say. Saturated fat does not clog the arteries. Coronary heart disease is a chronic inflammatory condition, the risk of which can be effectively reduced from healthy lifestyle interventions. We see over here in Open Heart Journal, omega-6 vegetable oils as a driver of coronary heart disease, the oxidized linoleic acid hypothesis, meaning you're poisoning yourself with omega-6 vegetable oils. People that say, I don't use those oils and stuff like that. Well, you know what? If you're eating anything in the middle section of the store, I don't care if it's right down to bone broth, there's seed oil in there. There's seed oil in everything. Your brown bread, your whole grains, your wraps, your Triscuits. They put it there when it's not even needed. Guys, peanut butter has these seed oils. Like peanuts have naturally derived oil. No, they hydrogenize the omega-6. When they take this omega-6 vegetable oils and then they want to make it solid, that creates pretty much plastic. So it's even more toxic. And yes, there are still trans fats in these hydrogenated things. And you'll never hear anything bad about margarine. You see margarine given to everybody in the hospital on their with a packet of sugar. It's despicable. But I can pop up right now plenty of articles scaring you from actually consuming butter. Yeah, eat the plastic, bigots. So they recommend 200 milligrams of cholesterol because that. So it's funny because it's like it's so conflicting. It's like there's no evidence, but the recommendations still say not to. And let's finish off with just this, and then we can let Bruce on. Is saturated fat unhealthy? Well, we just saw that now we know everyone's admitting, okay, cholesterol really is not the issue. The issue is that cholesterol is best friends with saturated fat found in animal food. So it must be the saturated fat. This was Ansel Keys' diet heart hypothesis, a study that was fraudulent and has basically still been upkept. The American Heart Association is a crock of poop. Okay, it is basically like a lobby. It is. We can go into the American Heart, but let's just say that early on, Lucky Charms had the American Heart Association label on it, and the American Heart Association, probably Ansel Keys was. It was kind of the American Heart Association probably came close to fruition at the same time as this whole Ansel Keys. They've been pushing this lie to the population. They're going to stretch it as long as they can. So the American Heart Association is not a unbiased scientific, thing run by cardiologists and stuff like that. It is pretty much propaganda. Saturated fats are solid at room temperature. They're found in animal products like beef, pork, milk, and cheese. Research on whether or not they're healthy is mixed. Well, if the research is mixed, then why are you making statements that are confusing people? Because if you're going to remove animal food that humans pretty much throughout all of history, anthropology, we know that we've always been consuming animal food. When we drastically reduce the fat to implement Crisco and shortening and butter and margarine and all of these seed oils, that was something new. That was something that we've never done before. Maybe that's the problem. No. It's made from plants, and it's man-made. It's made from plants, and we made it. Of course it's good. Humans smart enough to make our own food and stupid enough to eat it. The role of saturated fat in the diet has been studied for many years. However, research on whether or not it forms part of a healthy diet is still mixed. Keep reading to learn more about saturated fat, the research controversy, and its effect on your health. What is saturated fat? Fat is an important macronutrient that plays an essential role in many aspects of human health. There's three main categories: saturated fat, unsaturated, and trans. Saturated fats are saturated with hydrogen. Skip that. I want to get to what foods: cows, milk, cheese, butter. What is the research controversy over? Healthcare professionals often refer to saturated fat as bad. Saturated fats as bad fats and group them with the trans fats, which may cause health issues. Really, trans fats, they may cause health issues? Maybe. However, the evidence of the health effects of saturated fat is far from conclusive. For example, health organizations like the American Heart Association have recommended keeping saturated fat to a minimum for the past 60 years and instead replacing it with nutrient-dense foods. The nutrient-dense foods are the animal foods, and they have cholesterol and saturated fat. The nutrient-dense foods have actual fat-soluble vitamins. Where are you finding fat-soluble vitamins? You're finding it in animal fats. However, a 2020 review found many inconsistencies in the research, such as no link between heart disease and saturated fat. No link. Wow. No link. How come that's not plastered everywhere? How come they did a little thing 2 years ago where red meat was going to rot your butthole, and now everyone knows that no, that's not true. There's an association with processed meats. Red meat that's on process, zero, not even a link or an association. But they did their little speaker, everyone, scared of red meat. Then after it gets refuted, and then no one ever talks about it. But the whole public continue with the lie. So the authors concluded that more research is needed to support the American Heart Association's recommendation. So if you're making claims that are unsubstantiated and have no scientific support, that means that you're unscientific. That means that you've been lying. That means that you have been deceiving because you put yourself with a nice American Heart Association with an emblem, and there's an appeal to authority. Especially nowadays with people that don't know the difference between science and actual scientism, which is a religion. Indeed, health conditions like heart disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes have risen in the past 40 years. Some experts suggest that eating too many simple, carb-rich processed foods may have a bigger role than saturated fat. So you only hear that in the low carb and the keto community, right? Jeffrey Phillips just recently had a live stream about keto and stuff like that. Maybe I should tag him, and maybe he should listen to this, or maybe I can come and do my famous PowerPoint presentations from Jason John Swartz, where I can show him all of this. The American Heart Association recommends only 5 to 6% of your daily calories come from saturated fats. But numerous studies have shown that saturated fat intake increases heart disease risk, including, anyways, I gotta let Bruce on. I'm gonna do another stream with these. We're gonna look in more detail, but for now, let's go see my brother. Bruce, you can press the link right now, and I'm waiting for you. Sorry, I took a little bit too long, but it's really important because these lies are what keep people away from low carb or ketogenic diets. There's theoretical concerns related to the ketogenic diet. Please send me actual nutritional science research. If you see anything that's saying that it's straight out dangerous and harmful. In my opinion, I've been 5 years close at this, and I'm always kind of defending it and looking up. And just because carbohydrates are non-essential because your body produces carbohydrates, right? It does not mean that you have to not consume it. Oh, it's not essential, Okay, it can be beneficial. JD, mentions if you're consuming meat, it's very expensive, the meat nowadays. There's only a certain amount of protein that you can use to go.
Right on, man.
Hey, bud. Yeah, I was just talking about JD, like JD's not extreme, and he says, well, meat's pretty expensive. So if you're going to be just chowing down on meat, there's only a certain amount of protein that your body can use to actually repair, and the rest, the body will naturally just produce sugar. So he's like, some people taking it and just like gorging themselves, like Sean Baker, for example, on tons of meat. He'd say, well, why don't you just consume strategically the amount of protein and meat and stuff like that, and just a little bit of potato or something on the side spikes the insulin a
But
little
see,
bit,
that's what
opens
I'm
the door.
doing. My little cheating or whatever, when I do it, well, there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
If I do go get a Putsin or I decide to do it, and if I'm really not doing it even more than once every 2 months or months or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't have
yeah,
done it at the beginning, but now that I'm a bit thinner,
yeah,
a lot thinner, I'm going to try to maintain it.
yeah.
And of course, I'll see myself getting bigger there. I'll feel it. And
Me
as long
too.
as I keep weighing myself now, yeah, but I'll weigh myself. As long as I keep
Yeah,
weighing myself, I should be able to know when I'm going to gain or not. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, 115 pounds. The last I weighed was 195. That was a
You want to
month
start
ago.
over? Like, you know what? There's 10 to 12 people, and I've never streamed on Facebook, so there might be actually a Facebook friend. Kind of just actually give a little bit more like of a
Yeah, run through what
testimony
I
from
did.
start.
So
How long
start,
ago you started?
yep,
Go ahead.
starting off in April, right? And I started fasting, and I went from eating a lot, like a big, not many meals, eating big quantities. I'll only have a bowl of spaghetti, but the bowl's a big bowl of spaghetti. It's a big plate of spaghetti. And I just loved the noodles. It's not even because I was eating a lot. I was only eating pasta, potato, and noodles. Me, the
Mm,
ideal to arrive in an apartment, or before I had my with my son, we weren't just eating like that, but I started
yeah,
eating bad as soon as my son left. As soon as he left, I started eating just pastas, noodles, craft dinner, and stuff like that. It's no money, man. I'm poor. So the ideal of being single, not making meals for anybody, just going to get little noodle stuff or cups of soup and stuff like that, you gain
yeah.
a lot of weight. You gain a lot of weight, and you're
You're
always hungry.
starved all the time too.
Yeah, well, exactly. So 307 pounds I started off at. And the first month I lost 44 pounds, but I was doing intense fasting where I went from eating daily, complete fat and cheese, like big quantities of cheese and cookies and stuff like that, to
Hmm.
nothing. To
Hmm.
stopping it completely. I was so proud of myself stopping myself. I didn't have problems to do the first fasting of 8 days, almost 9 days, completely 9 days is the longest I did. And
Yeah.
I ate because I felt I was going to die. First month, 44, second month, like 35, the other month, 28, then 15 to 18 pounds, another 10, 12 pounds, another month after that. And I'm down in 195 already. The first
Hmm.
3 months, I was down the 100 pounds. I mean, literally
Yeah.
there.
I,
Literally went down fast.
I think that because just a minute, I want to show the before and after picture. I did it before,
So
but
how are you doing? Are you seeing views or a bit more, man, with the Twitter and with the holy mother of
a little
God?
bit, a little bit
You
here.
know what, eh? It makes Shrek look like he was on a diet, eh?
Yeah, it's an insane. It's a huge testimony,
Yeah. Now, don't
and
forget though. We keep forgetting to say it, and I know it. I had a swollen right side of my face on top of being fat. It's just that
yeah,
you don't see the swell. You see the
yeah,
ripple. You see the ripple line on the right eye, under
yeah,
the right eye. That
yeah.
was the swell, and I still have that ripple, as you can see on the right. The right side, I still have that
Mhm.
ripple. But you want to
You're
laugh?
talking about or your left or your right? This one?
My right. No, look at my right
This
cheek. My
Yeah,
right cheek, that bump that's there.
yeah,
No, beside my nose, the big
yeah,
bump on
yeah.
my yeah.
Yes.
That bump on the side of my face is
Yeah.
not on my face. It's the
Mhm.
shadow from my hat and the glasses. When you see me in person,
Yeah,
you don't see that. Notice, man, when you look at yourself in an image and you
yeah.
look at yourself in the mirror, you say, "What the fuck?" There's some things that you're seeing that are not even there.
Hmm.
You know, but
Yeah.
yeah, major difference. That
So
I
total.
looked like that actor. You know the actor in the movie where they were feeding him, and he busted in the movie. It was like a comedy.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, he just fucking swelled up and he
Now,
busted.
so total weight loss, like how many months now total?
May, June, July,
Have you even
August,
calculated?
September,
Yeah.
October, November,
This is
December.
11 months ago. I don't know if there was
No, no,
even.
no, no. Yeah, no, no. This is nine. Well, me 9 months ago is when I started the diet there.
Okay, so there you go. This was probably,
Yeah, but
at
the weight loss was 7 months ago. I went down. I lost in the first 5 6 months. I lost 100 pounds
yeah,
easily.
but this is still because when I clicked on this picture, it says 11 months ago. So this is in less than a year. And what did you say total weight loss in 100 and what?
weighed on the scale 112 at 195. That was over a month ago. So I added 3
Yeah.
pounds since then, but it could be that I lost 10.
So how much is the total from start to now though? Like 80 total.
112 pounds.
112 pounds in less than a year.
Confirmed. And like I said, that's why I said I lost 115 plus pounds for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So notice that the glasses on my face in the right image, the glasses are on the outside of each side of my face as compared to the.
Is that the same hat?
Nope.
Because you often mention.
No. It's not the same hat.
Okay.
No. But that hat now, actually, hold on. I'll go get my.
I'll take the picture down. And I think it's fair to say that you did it for weight loss, but you saw improvements in your issues. I guess it hasn't fixed itself completely. The eye issue, you're still kind of dealing with it, but it improved a lot, right?
Oh yeah, 99%.
And it almost goes away, you said, when you actually do prolonged fasts?
When I don't eat, it's never there. When I don't eat, there's none. No problems. The minute I eat, one curd, one piece of meat, one bite of salad, it's an immediate reaction to my eye. No matter what the food, it doesn't do it with liquids though. And I don't have the eye problem anymore. I had over 85 episodes a week, and now I have one every 16 days. I don't give a shit about it. Honestly, I don't care about it. I'm looking for my hat, man.
Yeah, take your time.
Maybe I'll turn on the light, maybe.
I'm trying to close some of these that I had open.
That's a habit. Every time I look for something, I never find it when I want to show it.
No, of course.
There it is.
It's the written rule. There you go.
I got it. It still fits, but you will see a major difference with it when you look at it.
That's it. That's one. Yeah.
Yep. That's my hat.
Yeah.
So if you get the image up side by side there.
What I could do, let me try.
Or just show one or the other, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Which template do I use? Share. Does that work like that? I can't see. Let me.
Yeah, and
but is it showing just the full?
No, it's only showing the old images.
I wanted like us on each side.
Oh yeah, they sit on the side. Yeah, like hold on. I'll go closer.
Was that what you wanted?
Well, yeah, anyways, look, that's me in front of my microphone going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at the difference. It's the same hat there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know if you know it there. The hat it goes over my ear and head on the side there.
Yeah.
It's like it's really loose.
Just went psychedelic.
Yeah.
So just if you want to blab a little bit more, I'm just going to look at the comments, guys. If possible, if you want me to acknowledge something, a question or a statement that you wish to be acknowledged, please put it in all cap locks. That way, you guys can enjoy the community, do your chat. You can talk about whatever you want off topic. I don't care. But if somebody has a ketogenic, a fasting, or any other issue, something related to ketogenic fasting, carnivore, low carb, or just omnivorous diets, please put it in cap locks. That way, when I scroll through, I'm not just staring and you have to look at my stupid face, just staring. And after 3 minutes, there's nothing that I had to acknowledge. So I am on day 4 or 5 of going back to the ketogenic diet as well.
That's why I saw you're doing the meat. You bought some meat. You're seeing how long it'll last with that, like $50, something like that.
I bought blade roast and family pack of ground beef and tenderloin, pork tenderloins there. I did a bad job with the roast. It didn't come out tender, so I had to eat that. And plus, I feel like fat, so I'm not that hungry. So I was one meal a day. A blade roast for me there, I ain't eating that in one shot. That
I
lasted
know
me
for
like
sure.
almost till today,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
like
for
I'm
sure.
usually only hungry at the end of the day. So, but I know, and you probably can attest to this. This is a good point I think to bring up, is the amount of money that you save when you start having a animal based nutrition, so primarily animal based, supplemented with some amount of nuts, whatever, not
Yeah, yeah,
extreme. You want some fruit or vegetable, but like economically, even with them jacking up all the prices and stuff like that, eggs, ground beef.
yeah, yeah. It
Once
shows
in a
though. I
while,
mean,
you
yeah,
do
the
get
price
these
is.
blade roasts, these roast on special. You keep an eye and you wait, and then you get
Yep,
this. But the satiety that occurs right when you're actually eating the eggs, cheese, beef and stuff, it's
yep,
like, well, I'm not over consuming because I'm so satisfied that I don't eat till the next day. So this
exactly. Yeah.
idea that these people are trying to criticize this way of eating by saying you're gorging yourself on meat, you're like, really?
No,
Seriously?
it's not. It's not gorging. Well, for me, it's I eat
Yeah,
what I'm hungry for, and
yeah,
then there's no snacking.
because
Instead
you're
of
satisfied.
snacking, there'll be more meat.
Yeah,
I'll eat meat instead, you
yeah,
know? But how many
yeah,
times a day that somebody eats okay, but says, "Oh, I'm not a big eater," but at night he eats a whole bag of Lay's chips. I know it sounds stupid saying that because
yeah,
that's what I was doing, but in reality, I knew I was doing that.
yeah. Me too.
And the chips throughout the day, I never sat down and ate a bowl of chips. It was
Mhm.
just always a handful. I'm
Yeah,
getting up, I'm going outside, put the garbage out, come back in, wash my hands. I was like, oh, big hand. Lay's chips in the thing like that. And then after that,
yeah,
go do a bit more work. But then you get hungry. You always, you know,
yeah.
food does make you hungry. Me there, that's no doubt about it. When Christmas came
I
by
would
and I
say
ate a pizza,
I, I would say carbohydrates make you hungry, meaning you're skimping on the fat, you're
right?
skimping on the protein, and there's a little bit maybe like, but the majority is like rice or beans, or all sorts of starches and stuff like that. You eat that, it goes up there.
It was
The
one bag of
sugar goes
candy,
up.
man. One bag
And
of candy. A couple that was 2 months ago. I'm sitting here. It is 10:55.
yeah,
I'm salivating. I'm talking and it's spitting out of my mouth because I have
yeah,
this rage all of a sudden, and I'm not a candy eater, to eat a particular candy that is like a jujube. And I'm getting this rage at 10:55, not for a case of beer, for the
yeah,
bag of candy. Through a stop to get to the corner store, walked in, grabbed the big bag of candy. That was I was so pissed off after that, dude. It took me 10 minutes to eat the whole bag.
yeah.
Okay. And I was eating fast to the point where I had sore jaw. I was eating like that. And after that, I'm going, well, why? But I never did that all the time. But I've always, even you can ask mom,
Yeah.
every 3, 4 months, I wouldn't eat any chocolate or anything. Then all of a sudden, okay, 4 Henry's, go or the corner store.
That's what happened to me. No,
And
that's
that's
what
what's
happened to me.
good. It's good to eat 4 Henrys. It's not good to have one. Have a
Yeah,
Kit Kat,
exactly.
kiss my ass. It's 4 Kit
Like
Kats.
Michelle in her nightstand, she has all sorts of like candies and stuff like that. And she'll be like, she'll take a piece and that's it. And she's good. Me, it's not like that. Me,
Uh, Maybe the
it's
bag all fucking night.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, when I
All the-
go, it's like okay, like the tub of ice cream. I'll eat that with like 3 chocolate bars. I'll binge and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And it's
Hey,
very dangerous.
I
It
used to
comes back.
open the ice cream and I used to pour some maple syrup in it. Let the maple
Yeah, yeah,
syrup
yeah.
and leak inside of it and just stir it up and stir it up. And oh my God, it was
No, exactly. It's
was good.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still
No, no, no. It's good. It's the best tasting thing. It's just you can't do that. That's like the addict that's on heroin saying, I know it's not good for me, but I'm high. My way, get over it, man. You're not gonna make it,
that's it. Let me
It's
show you
willpower.
because I just posted on purpose um, in my community. I wanted to show just a minute. I had put
Hey,
like
our first snowfall. Be careful for tomorrow. Plan ahead. We should get more snow, another 10
uh,
centimeters, something like that. tomorrow. Might even start
You
tonight.
realize
So
for me to get to work because of the Illitord Bridge being pretty much closed or one
dude,
thing,
to get
I
out,
have to
I
take
had to
a
get up.
train to work now. I have to drive to a train
That's right.
station, and then I take a train, and then after the hospital has a shuttle just for employees, and then I have to get on that. So they
Annoying,
should
eh?
pay me like overtime. I'm spending like how many like an extra like
You'd
hour
think
and a
a
half.
job, though, the government in Canada would have a fund for somebody that's traveling far. They pay so much per month out of his salary,
Yeah,
$3 to $7, but the government pays for the gas or something like that,
yeah.
or some type of shuttle thing because it's ridiculous.
To be honest, I think that I live far enough that I could have probably like 10 years ago been reimbursed at least 20 of my 60 kilometers
Yeah, yeah, I hear
unpaid.
you. Yeah, I
Uh,
believe it.
let me see here. I posted this in my community. Um, here. So yeah, in July you can see this is pretty much now, especially with it used to be like 180 was my ideal body weight. I had a good amount of muscles, so
That's about what
anything
I
less,
am now. I'm probably about 192, 188. That's about what I
but
am now.
here at 170, that's probably where I look better now until I get some actual muscle. So it's been day 5 today or 4 or 5 now, surviving on the $50 of food.
Yeah.
So I probably was close to 195 5 days ago, which is usually, if you check here, just a minute, here I took a snapshot of my run keeper. It's the last one I posted here, all
Wait a minute.
time.
Are you telling me that you're fatter than me right now?
Yes, I'm sure. Because 5 days ago, 100% I was 195. So you literally are less. Now now maybe I'm 188 today. You said you're at what, 188, aren't you, or something?
Yeah, mom.
What?
Hey, I'm less heavy than Jason.
Yeah.
I was gonna call it. No, man.
I'm happy.
No,
I'm
but no,
happy.
but that for me, like you know, where everybody has that weight gain and loss of 15, 10, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That's normal. I didn't have that. So now
Yeah.
I'm arriving, I'm comparing, I'm saying, like, look, Kai, I'm 30 pounds difference with Kai. I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at the image, you see that now I'm 30 pounds different with Kai. Makes
No,
no
it's
sense.
crazy.
My
Look,
son only about 50 pounds, not even with my
you
son.
see this popped up here?
Yeah.
All time. Now, unfortunately, this was my Fitbit exploded after like not even a year, but I still have the Fitbit just to input on the graph my weight. Now, I got all motivated and got the Fitbit around here into 2021, I'm assuming here.
Mine too. It's a flat line. It died.
But
It's a
I
flat line.
started, it would have been really nice to see an all-time where I started at 225. That's when I started. You would have saw an insane drop like off the scale here. It only
Yeah.
goes to 206. So all that to say is since 2021, I have gone very strict keto and I've laxed on it and it's fine. I don't get depressed about it. I know when and why I'm getting fat and I decide how much I weigh.
Yeah.
So
So
that is empowering. So these people about, oh, ketogenic diet every day, yeah, well, every time you go off of it, you put all the weight back. Yeah, exactly. What's that telling you? That probably the natural diet is a lot closer to a high fat diet, moderate protein, and
well, yeah,
reasonable
I
amount of
mean,
carbs. So over here today, I'm 188. But well, all this to say is that this is me. When I say I go off keto and stuff, I am still compared to a majority of people very low carb. But even with
yeah.
low carb for me, it makes me hover around 195. Then I go back and then I can hover more around like 180 and then if I'm purposely want to get lean, then I do have to like start
Well, that's
fasting a
why I
little
have to
bit
be
more.
careful because me, I know already I'm going to be 190, 220, 190, 220 continually.
Yeah,
And the 220, if I leave it there for an extra month, I can go to 230 in that next month. And 1 month more than that, I could be 250. Me
yeah,
to regain when I lost the first 100 pounds, I regained 75 pounds in 4 months.
Hmm.
Went right
Yeah.
back up. Boom, 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 boom.
Well,
There was
look,
no
that's it.
problem.
This was July. So 6 months ago, I was like
Yeah.
168, and then I was 195, 78,
But as
30 pounds
fast as I
later.
gained, I
Yeah.
lost faster. I
Yeah.
lost. It was incredible. I was
And
losing more than I was gaining.
people even are lied to, and when you tell them how successful you are, they go, "Oh, that's too much. Oh, you
Yeah, the
lost too
neighbor
much."
said
Tell me
I'm
where.
gonna have a heart
Tell
attack.
me. Show me the science. Where is losing too fast? Human beings, that's the whole point. We would go, and it was a good thing to store fat, and we'd go through periods of scarcity. Animals were leaner, then we were eating leaner, and we would go like this. Maybe not 40-pound differences, but it's natural to
Like when I was younger, being poor for the last week of the month always compensated.
yeah.
You get to the last week, oh no restaurants, you eat shit. Then you
No,
get,
okay.
you know, back
I
in the
don't know.
apartment
I
days.
don't know anybody who is a long-term keto. That 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 has remained in ketosis ever since. It's like, give me a break. You eat too many almonds. You eat a nice bowl of berries. You popped yourself out of ketosis for a while. You
Yeah.
eat like you if you eat like even protein powder. Let's say whey protein in your training. You give 50 grams of that. A lot of that 50 grams is going to turn into sugar in the
I
blood.
can't have
You're
anything in the
popping out of
house.
ketosis.
I can't have any bags like nuts or something like that in the house. I can't.
Yeah.
I'll go through it. I had
My
I had the
yeah.
bag of walnuts. It didn't
Yeah.
last. The bag of walnuts is done. I just got a bag of walnuts. They're done. I go through
Yeah.
them one after the other. Pop, 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 pop. And if I
Yeah.
don't, I'm sitting down here thinking of it like it's heroin, just like I
Yeah.
was a drug addict needs a fix.
My
Yeah,
my
so
issue
fucking eating it.
is it causes inflammation. If I
Yeah.
start eating even too many berries, and especially like I get into the peanuts or something like that, same thing. I'll eat the whole thing, but then I wake up and my back is like super super sore.
Yeah.
It's like clockwork.
I'm doing
Um,
good with the cheese, man. I was bad with the cheese, eating so much bloody cheese. At the
mm,
groceries, I buy myself a 10 bag of curds.
yeah,
I'll finish it the first day, but you see, that's
yeah.
the thing. I'm not going to keep the bag there to have 2 bites.
No, yeah, yeah.
I
Like
I don't
when I
like
buy
that. I
cheese, I
don't
go
like
through it really
moderately
fast.
eating nothing. I don't like sipping things. I wouldn't go to a wine tasting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, it's not I don't taste. I
yeah,
eat. I
yeah,
don't like tasting shit.
yeah.
I like eating till I'm done. So me,
But it's
I
good
would
that
eat.
you're doing that
Yeah.
because you, I would say you risk running into issues when you do the same thing forever and ever and ever,
Yeah, yeah,
mixing it
yeah.
up.
Like you
So, like
said
you
there, because
said,
I changed it up because I've been
buy
changing
some
it up. Yeah.
cheese once in a while. Buy some cheese. Go through
Oh,
the
yeah,
damn
yeah.
thing.
No, I
So you
do.
just upped your fat, and
I
then the
do.
next day it's like, oh, it's a leaner. That's why this idea, like, maybe at the start, people, it's a good idea to count macronutrients because they just don't know what macros are. They have no idea where carbs are. So initially, it's gives you a good idea where you are on average. After that, I always say, no, I'm telling you to eat these categories of foods and avoid those categories of food.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
exactly.
saying.
Well,
And
look at the
eat to
pasta. That's
satiety.
the only reason why I'm thinner, man. The pasta and shit. If I had continued to eat less, but continued eating pasta and stuff like that, I would have only lost 30 pounds. I wouldn't have lost 115 pounds. That's a
Yeah,
fact, you know. But I prefer that, and I find it healthy going several days without eating,
yeah,
and I am so comfortable at going 3 days. 3 days for me, 2 and 3 is something so comfortable for me. I can do it
yeah,
very easily. I could have a meal now instead of having only one meal for
yeah,
for a day. I'll eat 24 hours once, and the
yeah,
next day I eat again. But then I go three
yeah,
days. I
yeah,
feel bad that I'm eating. It's like, and I don't say bad because I regret it. I don't feel healthy when I
yeah.
eat. I feel tired. I feel drained and dragged down.
Mhm.
When I'm empty, I feel energized. That's how I feel when I
Yeah,
don't
and
eat
that
extra
that
energy.
is a common experience if you're in ketosis. Um, the ketone levels have an effect on your mood. They have an effect on your satiety. They have an effect on your cognition. It,
Oh yeah.
another time that can pop up, Marines and stuff that do deep sea diving and stuff like that. When they're breathing 100% oxygen, 100% oxygen can
Yeah, and
cause you to
upstairs.
have seizures.
Yeah,
And
for
imagine
sure.
you're on a mission having seizures, so they induce ketosis and stuff like that
Yeah.
because it helps minimize and stuff like that. So I always suggest anybody with epilepsy, seizures, mental illness, depression, anything is worth doing a ketogenic diet, but a very strict ketogenic diet with adding MCT
But
oil.
like someone like Kai that's
Yeah,
thinner that
yeah.
can't do that.
Like
You
well,
can
for him,
like
what he should do is
yeah, but like how can he have fat anyways? Like be on a ketogenic diet,
yeah,
but getting lots of that fat in so
yeah,
that he's actually not losing weight,
yeah,
but he's maintaining the metabolism.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
If Kai is thin, then if like if you look at the Epilepsy Foundation, okay, it's not the typical ketogenic diet. It's a ketogenic diet that's extremely strict, and it's relying on elevating ketone levels. The majority of keto people and stuff like that, once we're fat adapted and stuff like that, the ketone levels in our blood hover around zero point 0.4. Now, when you look on a blood test, it's 0 to zero point 0.4 is normal ketone levels, meaning somebody who's at the hospital that might have arrived and got a blood test and didn't feel good, so they didn't eat, they'd be hovering there. So our ketone levels initially go up when we're not adapted, and then they go down. And then after it, as you're creating ketones, your body is using it efficiently. So let's say for Kai, and I'm saying, oh, a ketogenic diet can help reduce seizure thresholds. That's not with the zero point 0.4 millimoles.
Right.
That's a normal. What Kai needs to do is add actual ketone that you can get supplements,
Yeah.
exogenous keto. So he has to add ketone powder, and he has to take MCT oil a couple of days. So that will jack up every day, and he
Probably
won't
the
be,
MCT oil, he
and
might not
that
need it.
might have because the
But
way he's talking, it's not helping.
marijuana consummation, I'm pretty sure it would help against seizures, you know?
Yeah, I'm not. I think it's the CBD aspect of
Yeah.
it.
I don't think he'll need the oil. I think
There's so
it's
many
close enough, but
cannabinoids.
it
There's
helps.
so many.
It'll help the people. I'm pretty sure that the marijuana helps for lots
Yes,
of stuff
yes.
like glaucoma.
There are even hospitalized patients. A lot of the people that are born with all these genetic problems, and and they have seizures and stuff like that. There's one, yeah, like it was cannabis oil and stuff like that. Um, but I mean, you usually we hear about the THC and the CBD, and there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of cannabinoids. That is a field of study that is still like
Yeah,
it's just starting. And Michelle, she's on CBD as well as THC from cannabis, Sante, and stuff like that, and it helps probably more than anything else.
well, for
I
sure.
don't know if it's even just like it just you're a little bit stoned enough to like feel a little relaxed or something. I don't know, but
But no one will understand the stone feeling unless they try it because stone there, like when somebody says, "Wow, I'm stoned,"
yeah,
it's not much, eh? Like I
no,
mean, think of it like stoned. He's not having an episode there. It's just he's
yeah,
stoned. That means he's actually feeling a little bit of the marijuana
yeah,
because
yeah. She's taking about like 20 milligrams, which is like an edible. So some recreational people and stuff like that are taking like 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams. They,
yeah,
she's using a very small. She should go up more because she's still in a lot of pain and stuff like that, and she can go up, but. Yeah. Anyways, no, I'm definitely
you just bathe in the oil. Like holy
yeah.
it's
No.
going into pores all day.
And when you take oil, the THC actually produces a second kind of psychoactive substance, and so you're even more baked when you don't get that when you smoke. So, but anyways,
Right.
just for Kai, since he's listening, what I'm trying to say is, if you're following a ketogenic diet, but you are not adding exogenous ketones as well as the MCT oil, you can get exogenous ketones, MCT oil at any weight training supplement store. Kai, I would try that. I would also buy at the pharmacy. It is exactly like the glucose meters. It's like $60. It's instead of glucose, it's for ketones. You don't need to, take it once a day, just to get an idea. And what you do is you measure it, and let's say it's, you would want to be around 3. You try and maintain 2 to 3 millimoles per liter. That is attained by the ketogenic diet strict plus the MCT. And then over a month or 2 or 3, being consistent every day, see if there's an improvement in your
So
C-reactive.
basically, smoke more weed, Kai. This is what he's trying to. It'll help.
I think he also has mental issues, right? So THC, for people, if he has like
Don't
this,
think so. I'm not sure about that, but I know
I
he's
don't know if
got
he has
the.
depression, or he said he had a bipolar.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
he's on
He said,
Earth, eh? So
hey,
he's on Earth, so it's like we're all
but
depressed.
Leah's like, Jason is becoming the new Dr. Berg. It's true, eh? There's they shadow banned Dr. Berg, so like maybe I can just take that place and get the honor of being shadow banned once I have 1 million subscribers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the
Okay, I
fact
keep on
you're on the
wanting to
other.
say hi to everybody. Sorry. So
Yeah, go ahead.
Darla showed up, and we got Leah, we got Kai. Thank you very much for encouraging me, guys. Rod in the house. Thanks, Rod. We got Bruce Cesal, obviously, here with us. Kai, faithful moderator. Oliver Klein. Think bad animal fats fried in bad vegetable oils is making the best of it. I I definitely agree with the vegetable oil, but what in your opinion is bad animal fat? Because in my opinion, there's no bad animal fat. I would say that there's suboptimal animal fat, and that's all of the ruminant animals that should be fed grasslands, and um, they're getting fed soy, corn, wheat. All that will actually make it, and that could be why, because to to liberate ourselves of all of these years of omega-6, because the omega-6 is used as components, actual structures of your body, not for energy. It takes a long time for you to start introducing a lot more omega-3, limiting very much the omega-6, and gradually your body over the years reconstructing and stuff like that. So if we're eating even the animal food from the grocery store that's meat, and we're still trying to liberate it, it's just another dose of omega-6, and it might inflame us. Just a theory, it could be possible that way. And JD was bringing up the fact that the big influencers on YouTube, once you get big enough, corporations do contact you, to sell products and stuff like that. Like Sean Baker, I've heard him multiple times now that JD kind of mentioned it, that he always kind of mentions, there's a study between grass fed and grain fed, and actually the grain fed did a little better. And JD brought it to my attention, and he showed me, and it's like a repetitive thing that he keeps on saying. Sean Baker is extremely influential, and he could be a great spokesman
Yeah,
for grass-fed ruminant animals and
yeah.
encouraging those farmers. You know who he's encouraging?
No,
Cargill, all of the grain-fed. So he's encouraging the
they're probably
grocery
paying him to.
store,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of
Exactly.
course, of
Yeah.
course. And there
That's like,
is
did you see
also,
Green Day? Green Day. Yeah, when I come around, bunch of it's a group, bunch of gay people together. Got nothing against gay people,
yeah.
but notice that the gay people that are going with the gay agenda, whatever, the trans and everything thing. So they get he put in this song in his song changed the words to his
Really?
authentic song,
Recently?
yeah, and added "I am not for MAGA"
Wow.
in the song. So after that, you saw that right away. And when I say that, I'm not telling people because people that don't vote for Trump are dumb. I'm just saying that this guy is trying to manipulate someone. Even if it was like, don't vote
Yeah.
for Biden or don't vote for, it's a manipulation,
Yeah.
Green Day. So lots of
Yeah.
people are doing that, man. The Terminator, he says that, people that don't get V'd, are morons, and they're all coming out of the closet, actually, literally. Come out of the closet, actually.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, check this out. This is giving props to
Yeah,
JD.
check out my last video too, Jace, when you get a chance there about the
Yeah.
Apennine Mountains, man. Very
Well,
concerned.
we can talk if you want to stay till 8. We can finish the keto section. You can just take over and give us an update as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
uh, JD showed me this. I want to make sure that it's exactly this one that he had asked me because I recently asked him about yeah, eatwild.com. So he brought this to my attention, and you know what? It's not just in the United States. It's like it even shows like in our area everywhere, and you can go directly to these locations and get grass-fed, regenerative, ethically raised and stuff like that. So
Wow.
he showed me briefly. I haven't looked into it, but please everybody kind of pass this link around. Eat Wild, and I'm going to look into it because at the moment I am back at the grocery store. But what I do want to do really is, yeah, I want to say that, you know what, I bought a cow, a pig, a lamb. I got my chickens, and I can say, man, because the way we eat like very little, that would probably last like the way we eat like 2 years, and I'd be like going to a vegan and going, how many deaths did I create for 2 years for my whole family? 3 deaths. And I know that those animals, I got them locally. I know how they were raised and
Yeah,
they were slaughtered. And I even will insist I want to be there during the slaughter. I'll even videotape it and show how quick and harmless it is.
yeah,
That's my vegans don't.
exactly. You know that nobody had sex with your animals.
Yeah, because
He says, yeah. I said I'll sneak that in to see if he just goes, yeah, yeah,
I'm like, yeah. vegans vegans will acknowledge to a certain extent, right? That, well, I mean, there are animals that are affected by all of these fields. There is pest control. There are shooting down these wild animals. The wild animals are a big problem to the crop farmers, and they're protecting their crops. And yes, it's true that, well, it's not just vegans that are eating those crops. It's mostly 99% are omnivorous, so they're just as guilty. And that is true, but we're not virtue signaling. They are. So they are trying to say that they are pretty much, divine and sinless when it comes to their diet, when in reality, no, for your apples there's poisonings that occur, there's tons of chemicals. And I even told them, I said, listen, there are some rodenticides, for example, that are in plant agriculture, and they are anticoagulants. So they make you end up hemorrhaging everywhere. You just bleed. Your blood becomes like water, and you hemorrhage. So my 3 quick deaths that are literally for all three a couple of seconds. Okay, that's 3 deaths. I said, even if you had one animal, okay, I have 3 and you only have 1, but if that animal ate that, slowly got poisoned, slowly didn't feel good, started to be, to
yeah,
get all these symptoms as it's dying, and then finally like dies of dehydration, maybe is not able to move because it's in the process of getting eaten by another animal alive, and then that animal gets poisoned from that one,
mhm,
and there's evidence that it is third, fourth generations, and they've studied a lot of the wild animals, and they're like, yeah, like there's like hundreds of compounds, hundreds of farming chemicals that are used. So
yeah.
So I think that if ever you get challenged by these, vegans and stuff like that, that are trying to virtue signal, if you are doing what, you know, you're purchasing for your family, like I said, it's maybe $5,000 or $3,000 to $5,000 for a cow, I think, in Canadian money. Well, okay, maybe I don't have 3 to 5 grand, so that's my
That
excuse
must
of
be many friggin' pounds of beef.
split it. We split it. We
Of
split it between
course,
the family.
of
You know, it's
course.
like, oh, okay. It's like, hey man, like $2,000 for meat. Well, you know what? Every time you go and buy a steak for $16, believe me, you're spending a
Yeah, man. Listen, we're eating meat every day. It's not even comparable. $2,000 is a couple of months. So, but we'll last
and
longer than that.
and
But
it's very important to mention that when you slaughter a cow, you're not just eating the various steaks. There's organs, and I know, but at the very least, our ancestors ate all those organs. That was the prize stuff.
yeah.
You still see, there's
Africans and
yeah,
everything.
Kenya. Matt Walsh had his documentary, What's a Woman?
I
So
saw it.
he goes to Kenya,
Yeah,
and
I saw it.
they slaughtered the lamb right in
Yeah,
front,
they drink the blood.
right?
Very,
And
very high in
and
iron. And
they came in and so raw while it was still warm, gave him a
yep,
piece of kidney. And
bleh, gurgling at the same time.
I like how he was so stoic. He was
It's
like this, Matt Walsh. You know Matt Walsh, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like he's such like he's hilarious, but he's so like monotone, which makes
yeah,
it
yeah.
funny.
He'll eat
And he's
anything.
all,
It makes me sick. The son of a gun.
but he goes like this. He's like, that's the best. That's the best kidney I've ever had. That's like, it's
Or
like,
he goes, or he was having, I don't know if it was an eyeball at one point. He's going very chewy, watery, and I'm still going, I'm listening to him talk. I'm like, well, you son of a shut up, man.
like Rosa, right? My granddaughter and stuff like that. I'll make the liver,
I know the liver story. Yeah,
and
yeah.
she'll eat it. So it just shows that a lot of our palate is developed while we're infants. It comes with the culture and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
trying to adopt it, but yeah, just because look, there's the carnivore diet. Supposedly there's vitamin C just in the muscle meat, in the fresh muscle meat. Okay. I think that many of these people that have been years carnivore and they're avoiding the organs. Okay, like sure, but I'd be nervous, and I would definitely incorporate, if I was sticking strictly like nose to tail. I would consume liver. Now, fresh liver does have vitamin C, and it's interesting that vitamin C consumption, when you're eating carbohydrates, you need more vitamin C because it's the vitamin C and the glucose compete for entry into the cell.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you're bombarding your body always with a lot of glucose, you actually need higher amounts of vitamin C. When you remove it, there's only a very small amount of vitamin C that's required to prevent scurvy and stuff like that. The Anything higher than that, it's considered an antioxidant. I'm not a professional on vitamin C,
Yeah.
but this antioxidants is good for you. It's good for you. Look, as long as you're not oxidizing the crap out of your body with these seed oils and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and all the grains and the soy and the corn consumption that's processed, your body naturally has antioxidants.
yeah.
And
I
there's
never,
antioxidants.
not change subjects.
Go ahead.
I never had the rash anymore though. My eye problem persisted, right? It was
Yeah.
first, it was only inside the eye. Then it became the whole skin around the eye. And then it was the back of my neck, all my cheek, and down in the part of my chest. It was like
Mm.
a rash, and it was just swelling, and I was itchy there all the time. And it was so sensitive. The skin was hard like leather. Like the skin around my eye was like leather.
Yeah.
It was very dry. It was very hot. But now I don't have that anymore. So when my eye is a little bad, it's not the cheek and everything there. And you can see there is no swelling whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I got my cheekbone back. You can see the
Yeah.
cheekbone there a little bit.
I'm telling you, it's a large amount of your weight loss. Wasn't just like water loss from glycogen.
No, no, no.
It was inflammation. It was like you were
That too,
sick.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
body
Yeah, yeah. The
inflamed,
toxins, toxins,
puffy and
toxins.
puffy,
Yeah,
and yeah, because like the amount of weight, it was like, okay,
yeah,
that can't be. Even if you add all the water weight that you'll lose at the start and actual fat, I was
yeah.
like, yeah,
But
you
I
know, so
maintained a 265. I think basically a good part of my life. It was 265. But then from 265, I went up into the 280s. And
yeah,
that was the difference. And the difference of that 30 pounds is just from me not working anymore at a company because I
yeah,
was doing a lot more walking. So being at
yeah.
home doing less walking, that's all I needed was that 30
Mm.
pounds. That was too much. So
Leah, Leah, these are good questions that you're supposed to put in cap locks so that I can acknowledge it. Thank goodness I just fell on this one. She asked, "Is there a way they can test and see what kind of LDL?" Yes, there's particle size. So you can, let's say he says your LDL is elevated. Okay, what is the particle size? And he's going to look at you funny. So maybe come with some photocopies or something and say, "Look, you know." There's different particle size. Maybe I'll start thinking about statins, but I want to know, is it the dangerous LDL that I have? Then the other thing is that statins, they can help lower the risk in a population where, let's say you've had heart attacks. Okay, chances are people have had heart attacks are only being told to eat less fat, avoid eggs, butter, and all that. They're told to continue on a high omega-6 processed
yeah.
plant corn and stuff. So if your LDL are inflamed and you have tons of them flying around, a statin that minimizes it probably actually is beneficial because all your LDL have been destroyed. You're toxic. So let's minimize it. But anybody else as a prevention and stuff like that, again, I don't want to get, look, I'm not talking as a healthcare professional. This is my opinion on statins. I'll probably get a freaking strike now because I'm claiming statins are bad. So, is there a way of redeeming myself? I'm sure I'm going to get a strike. That'll be 2 strikes in a month just because I opened my
It
mouth.
depends because you see, this is like they don't want us talking about COVID and stuff like that. And there's certain things that you'll talk about, they don't give a crap, even if you literally say you're a doctor. But if you start talking about something related to whatever they don't want,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like they jump on you, they block you off. It
it's
really
true,
sucks.
eh? Because think of like medical misinformation, and it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
I got two,
my
dude, two of them, two
my
medical misinformations.
and my other channel, I'm like, you know, in literally in the hospital, and I'm like
Yeah, but
saying,
you
oh,
work there.
this
You're
is
not.
here and that is
You
there. I
work
know.
there.
How do you know?
It's like the government. It's like YouTube's telling you, well, no, you work in a hospital, but you're not allowed to talk about your work, and that's not
Yeah.
true. You're allowed talking about your work. You know.
You know what? I bet you it, as long as I'm talking about this electrical impedance tomography and the ventilators and stuff like that. But I bet you if I was still there with, you know, and talking about this,
Did you say
it's
event epistemology?
eh?
You just said event.
Oh no, electrical impedance tomography.
I heard this an electrical penis for. I said, what the hell is he talking about with an
Well,
electrical penis?
Amazon sells anything nowadays, so
Oh yeah,
it's
they have the
possible.
electrical penises, but they don't work. The guy's like, what you bought
Causing
one?
irritation from damaging tissue. Oliver, causing irritation from damaging tissue, cause some broken bone parts, do or cause any harm. Yeah, some good stuff. I've had LDL at 250 for a decade. Could it be protective? The fire. Look, in my opinion, the most important thing is to keep your blood healthy, meaning
Yeah,
you don't want insane high insulin levels. You don't want going from like 4 grams of sugar in your bloodstream to 300 grams and having your body deal with that like 3 times a day.
that was like
You know,
daily for me. That's what I did. Like my body was used to being in the wave.
because they like to say that there's good carbs and bad carbs. It's like, really, the carbs are good and bad. So it's like, oh well,
It's
the bad
quantity, right? Right? It's quantity.
bad are the ones that spike your sugar. It's like, okay, fair enough, okay, but at the end, like if you have the good carbs and you're consuming 300 grams of good carbs, you're still maybe not spiking that second insulin, but the insulin is elevated. It's dealing with that. It doesn't need, that much energy. And every day that you're supplying the 250 grams of carbs that's recommended, where like you're frail, you're older, you're sedentary, you're not moving, and you're like, oh well, I have to have some bread. I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have so, and it's like, no, every single day you're just adding a little bit more fat to it, and
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, it's pretty crazy. Just going through a little bit more. Jane's Journey, thanks for coming on. Jason, have you seen a
Thanks,
difference in
everyone.
your cholesterol since you lost weight? I haven't done recently anything. Okay, there are people that they call hyper responders. What I mean by that is when they do start eating like saturated fat and stuff like that, they do have an increase in their LDL, but they have an increase in the large particle, the non-problem LDL, and they usually get a little spike in their HDL, which is a good thing because the HDL is what removes the LDL and stuff from circulation and brings things back to the liver. So that's a good thing. So again, anybody, the doctors, they have no choice. The doctors, to a certain extent, they do have standards of practices, and they can be reviewed. And if a doctor personally is against statins, but he does not tell you to go on a statin, then he could be like malpractice and stuff like that. But you can say to the doctor, "Thank you for informing me, but I choose not to do that. I'm going against your recommendations. Please mark that in the dossier and get on with
And
your
then you
life."
leave and you give them a card.
Yeah,
You keep a
exactly.
card on. You tell them, no, I won't be doing that. This is my card.
Yeah.
Like teach them something. you know. I
Well,
went to the doctors at one point because I had a sore left side and I
yeah.
was cramped over when I was working at the plum called the lead company.
Mhm.
And they told me he pressed on my left side and I said, ow. She goes, you can't be sore on the left. All you have is shit in your body. That's the professional surgeon, the one at the hospital with the red head and the beard. I don't know
Okay.
if he's still there. There, big fat guy,
Um,
fat doctor with a red
mhm.
head and a beard. Looks like mama's boy. Told me you can't be sore on your left because there's only shit on your left. And I'm like, well, I said I'm sore as shit,
Yeah, I got it.
So, anyways, I thought it was retarded. That
Um,
was a CSST doctor, Jason, the CSST doctor.
yeah.
So he walk in there, and I said, I'm sore on the left. There's nothing there. Told me to go home. Went home sick. It's like what?
Oliver was asking, but he probably heard that was at the start at
Yeah,
six.
like I had taken a little while to answer, but I told
Okay.
him, yeah,
You know what? I'm
112 to
gonna
115.
go a little faster because I'm at 6:30 only. Just kind of looking
Yeah, we're already 7:30
at
there.
what. Yeah. Hey, do you want to give us an update about your work and stuff like that? Like you were telling me that there's a lot of stuff happening there on your channel. You
Yep.
you want to kind
Yeah.
of give a
Yeah,
teaser?
sure. Yeah,
Yeah, go
absolutely. I
ahead.
even have the
I'll
video.
just pop up in between anything relevant, but continue with it. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you want me to share a bit of the last video or?
Share screen, whatever you want. Let
Yeah.
us know. Yeah, open mic. You do what you got to do.
All right. Well, give me a second here.
Yeah. I'm just looking through.
There we go.
Luke Nathan Glenn White. I have lost weight. Started off at 100 kilograms 6 months ago. Now I am at 85 kilograms.
Wow,
Really do.
man. Good for him.
Yeah. If you ever want to come on, let us know specifically what
Yeah, that's
plan you've
David's.
done.
David's got a kid, man. David White. They got David White. They got Luke. Got a
You
bunch of
know him?
people. Yeah, members of on my channel, big supporters of the channel. Comments daily. Luke comments all the time. He comes to the streams.
Yeah.
Thanks, Luke.
Luke says I've never drank coffee. To be
Oh
honest, like I
wow.
do drink coffee, but I think look, it's a bean. Okay, beans are problems. Um, I think that there might be a thing to coffee causing issues in some people as well, not just the caffeine and stuff. There's I'd
Right,
have to
right.
look into it, but like
You want me to wait
beans and
before,
stuff.
man? I'm waiting till you talk.
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
you know what? Let me really fast
No,
go
take your
because
time, take
yeah,
your time. But I mean, I'm not gonna click for like right away. I'm gonna wait till we talk to
or
people. Always take
yeah,
time, man. I do it. I do it every stream, man. I'll do it every 5-10 minutes. I always take the time to talk to the people. If not, man, we wouldn't have anybody coming to the streams. You know?
yeah. I mean, it's like people that say like, oh, not only am I avoiding cholesterol and saturated fat, I'm avoiding salt. Now, here's the thing. Our ancestors, the only preservatives they had was salt.
Of course,
Everything
they
was
must have been
salty.
filled
Okay.
with it. They must have had
So,
a lot of
yeah.
it.
So why is salt all of a sudden now a problem? It's very simple. Okay. Think of a hose. Okay. So you have a hose and you have water in the hose. Obviously, there's a certain pressure. You can have a pressure gauge. If you go like this on the hose, the pressure goes up.
Because they're
Common
making
sense.
it in a lab. Back in the days, they probably didn't make salt in a lab. Now they're making
No,
shit in the
no.
lab, you know?
I mean, look, there's possibilities in like there's possible contaminations in the pink salt. That now salt's being spray painted, kind of thing, to look pink,
Wow.
and stuff like that. Everything, you got to be paranoid. But salt, the issue is that water follows salt. So if you're going to have a salty meal, okay, it's going to suck in a lot of fluid inside your hose. So
Yeah.
now inside a hose has more fluid. So let's say I had a normal blood pressure with this amount of fluid. Now there's tons of salt. Osmosis causes tons of water to enter. Now instead of 5 liters, I have 6 liters. What happens when you put 5 liters in a hose? Now you increase the volume, pressure goes up.
All right.
So the reason that people skyrocket pressure is that their vessels are inflamed, they're damaged. Why is it inflamed? Again, it's the seed oils.
So
It's
if I
the
was a
glycogen.
doctor, I would call that vascular buoyancy
Well, what
because there's more
what
volume.
I'm saying is it's
Yeah, that's right.
true. If you're eating the typical diet that's killing you, salt will be a problem for you. But
Yeah.
if you start adopting the diet that we're talking about, whether it's carnivore, keto, and stuff like that, or low carb, what happens is your inflammation goes away, your hypertension is corrected, and then
Yeah.
you can eat a normal amount of salt and you don't skyrocket. So this happened to Joe. Joe was on a high blood pressure medication. He started losing all that weight. He was going for walks and he started feeling like he was going to pass out while he was
Right. Right.
walking
Yeah.
every time. So finally, let us know. And I said, take your blood pressure. Do you take high blood pressure medication? He's like, yeah, because he used to have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
So he reversed his high blood pressure medication, and because he was still taking it, he was getting low blood pressure.
Right.
So then he went to the doctors. He got his lipids and stuff. So he's the kind of guy that he can eat more animal food, and he didn't get an elevated LDL. In fact, his LDL was great. But I took him. Of course, I didn't. He was no longer taking statins, let's say. And he goes to the doctor. Wow, lost weight. All the blood things are good. No longer on blood pressure. Can I stop the statins? No, you have a family history. You have to stay on that for life. Give me a break.
Well, that's not what
And
that's the idea of the doctors, though. They have to sell the medication and they gotta make people sick. There's no two ways
and
about it.
and the amount of cognitive issues that can happen with statins.
Yeah.
Um, so you know somebody, we won't say who it is, but there was somebody with zero psychiatric history in their 50s developing serious depression, sleep disturbances, and that is non-responding to any of the psych meds. Okay. And that person, darn it, what was I going to say? It was about, oh yeah, so that person ended up being on Seroquel, that's an antipsychotic, Ativan to help them sleep. One of the SSRIs, I think it was Cipralex, Wellbutrin, gabapentin. Like this person with no psychiatric history that all of a sudden started feeling depressed was on like 7 different, like a psych or brain altering drugs and stuff like that. And the guy was like a freaking zombie, you know. And the first thing was, the statins can cause depression. There is no doctor that will say, I'll put you on statin, but if you have any, like a doctor should have a thing like, oh, when did I prescribe a statin? Why is this guy all of a sudden in his 50s depressed as crap? So that doctor never caught on to a possible side effect, a known side effect of statins, and just loaded with more pharmaceuticals.
I'm starting to wonder if they're not paid to shut up. I mean, seriously, dude.
Oh, they're just brainwashed. Believe me. I when I worked at
Yeah,
McGill,
th
it's
the same way the secret projects for UFOs are compartmentalized, so are doctors. When you get so many MOLs of Bing Ball to put into somebody because he has Paxaray, well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to do an investigation. The doctor told you to give him that for Paxaray, and you're going to give him the big sit, bing, bing.
like
That's it.
like it's like a 1 point system, stuff like that there that lights up, and he puts patients to sleep, and he keeps them safe and stuff like that during and a
No, no.
neurosurgeon is not going to be able to know what a cardiologist. And I'm definitely not calling, like, I'm not painting doctors in a bad way. I'm just saying that they're human, they're specialized, and when it comes to things like nutrition, they are not trained. They are not above anybody here.
Yeah.
They are any honest physician. So I gotta watch out here. Like, I'm on Facebook and I work in a hospital. I hope I'm not giving an impression that I'm like doctors. But what I'm saying is, this criticism to intensivist doctors and stuff like that, like, we were doing our best, man. People were just showing up at the hospital. Okay, like,
Yeah.
we weren't going and dragging people out of bed to intubate them and stuff like that, and stuff like that. So, like, this excessive demonization that I found, like even me, people are calling me all sorts of names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like ER doctors and pretty much anybody who gets up and works in a hospital is not giving vaccinations. Those are like clinic things. Those are given by usually not doctors. They're usually given by nurses or RNs and stuff like that. So there was this whole like demonization is pretty crazy and stuff like that. So it's like, no, I don't think the doctors are like secretly knowing. I think that they're trained in university. There is some dogma that I think is horse crap. There's some bad dogma in it, but they're trained with that. And that's it. There's a certain cognitive dissonance that they have, ultimate faith in the latest stuff, and stuff is sometimes wrong and stuff like that. And so the only criticism I have is about nutrition. Doctors, you're not trained in nutrition. And unfortunately, the nutritionists are trained in universities, and they're trained the standard, stupid, avoid all animal food diets. So it's like the most highly trained in universities at this point, when it comes to nutrition or preventative medicine, are the most cognitive dissonant, I think, because they're the ones that are going to be backing it and stuff like that. It's pretty weird. Anyways,
You got about 10 minutes, man, after, right? Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to go through. All right, so, guys, I want to let Bruce give us a teaser.
No, man. No, answer. We will. I'll take 5 minutes, man. We'll have plenty of time to see it. Take the time to answer a few comments, man. People like that.
Well, unless they put it cap locks like we say every time, I'd rather not create a dead stream. Jason said, ask your doctor, strike is not necessary. Well, Matt, look it up. What's LDL?
Hey, Matt.
Ask your doctor. Okay, yeah. So I do want to put it out there that, like, because I was speaking very openly, and obviously I have my intentions. I hope I wasn't totally putting down my colleagues that are my way by bosses there. I'm talking strictly about nutrition and stuff like that. No, like, they're not trained. They're not in a position. They're just going to push exactly what's been making us sick, and the biochemistry, medicine is so, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a doctor, and all I concentrate, if you look, is like the ventilators, and and I can spend 8 hours, and I can talk for books and books just on mechanical ventilation,
Yeah.
just on mechanical. And now you have an intensivist doctor that has to be knowledgeable in everything from the mechanical ventilation, from renal function, cardiac function. So it's very, very specialized physicians. There's no doctors that that's the way it works. So because it's put in like specialties. It's like compartments. You know how they say, like, even the people working at NASA, let's say, they don't even know that it's fake. They're doing their job. They think it is, and
Yeah,
no
that's
one
what I
knows.
said before. Yeah, it's all
In a
compartmentalized.
way, it's kind of like that. There's no,
No, it has to be like that, because if not, people would turn around and said, "Hey, that's poison." They're not going to. It's grab 126 and give it to patient 9. Grab 220 and bottle B91, give it to room 6. That's all it is. They have a competence, they got doctors of finding out what people have and stuff like that. But when it comes to the medicine, you give what the boss gives you. That's it, and you shut up about it. So
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. All right, show us before you have to. You said you have to leave eventually.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
gotta get
show us
more
this,
videos up.
the latest? Go ahead, share screen, whatever you want, for real
Right
now.
on,
I'm sure.
man. So the screen, I'm sharing it right there. You can
Okay.
click on it. And now my messy screen, it's actually all clean now. I'm going to bring the volume down. And before talking about it, I'm just going to show you, man. I could put it, if it's too big or if it's too close, just let me know.
Looks good.
All right. So now we're going to the surface of the moon. I found something. I want you to let me know what you think it is, if it's anything at all.